Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com, and I love me a good argument, especially when it's got a little bit of comedic humor with it because of the irony of the person making the argument doesn't even know they're making a very, very solid and persuasive argument. And that's what we have here. Somebody that's a stock newbie, yet they're making a great argument for at least considering trading futures. But that's how it goes. As a beginner, part of that when you're just getting started is you don't know what you don't know. And you could be making a really good thought, you could be making a really good argument, but you don't even realize that that's what's occurring. But that is what we have here. So this person says, I am very new to this. And because they're very new, they're throwing something out and saying, well, is that a thing? Because I don't, is this a thing or am I crazy? Is this a valid, valid observation? And yes, it's actually a really good observation. But what is this thing? Well, this person has noticed, I find the more familiar I am with the stock, watching it for a few days, the more sound my decisions are when to enter and where it might go versus finding a stock on that day. And all I can say to that is very, very astute observation for somebody that is, per their own admission, very new to all this. And this is nothing new, but it is something that is very, very real. And in fact, one of the first videos I ever did on the channel can be seen right here. Trade tips, getting romantic with options trading. Now, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole for options, but the point here that I was making is exactly what this person just questioned. And in the world of stocks, so if you're trading stock options, it's important to know about the stock. But yes, in the world of stocks, the more you watch a particular stock, and just that one, you're going to notice certain characteristics. You're going to notice that it does have a personality. But again, the only way to understand and observe and start to learn about this personality is, well, you've got to build a relationship with it. Or in this video, kind of trying to make a little bit of a joke of it, you've got to be able to get romantic with these stocks because yes, a stock individually has its own personality. And further proof of this is if you were to ever become some sort of Wall Street trader, you're not going to show up and have them say, hey, go trade whatever you want, whatever pops up on your scanner. No, an investment bank is going to be like, you're going to specialize in XYZ. And why would they make you specialize in something? Well, because they know that quote unquote something has its own personality and they want you to get very, very romantic with it. They want you to learn about its personality, understand how it tends to move, maybe some of the games it plays every now and then, because the more of you, understanding the personality of whatever you're trading, it still doesn't guarantee success, but it at least gives you more of an edge where you could find and structure some probable trade setups that go in your favor. So yes, getting to know something very, very worthwhile and a great observation because yes, the more you get to know a stock individually, the better it can become. But the cool thing about futures is it can make that process that much more simple because in the world of stocks, there are thousands of ticker symbols. So which stock should you watch? And the problem with stocks is sometimes they'll change because the management will do something. They'll restructure the shares with a forward split, a reverse split. Other things can happen. And then all of a sudden, just like that, the relationship just ends because the personality changes and it's just, you got to go find something else. But in the world of futures, there's a much smaller choice of, options you can choose from. And you can just watch the same thing over and over again and trade the same thing over and over again every single day because there's always opportunities. And that's what I do. I wake up, and which brings about another point, very, very time effective. So from a practical point of view, it's not like I have to wake up super early because I got to run my scans and look at my screeners and figure out what I'm going to trade. And no. I already know what I'm going to trade. So I can sleep in, I can roll out of bed and right to my computer because I know what I'll be trading. And the more that you watch whatever you are trading, the better understand you're going to get of its personality. And if you want to learn more about futures, if I, am maybe hopefully persuade it, well, not even me, the stock newbie, if they have persuaded you via this argument here, then I do offer a totally free 4-part series that will give you a foundation within futures trading. But we're not done yet. So if you're still not persuaded, then this stock newbie brings up another talking point, which I would argue makes this even more of a no-brainer decision to at least consider futures trading. Now, because this person doesn't quite understand, is this like a thing or is it something else? And one of the things I think maybe it actually is, or do I just need to get more experience as a PDT meaning a pattern day trader? So is this a valid observation or do I just need more experience as a pattern day trader? Well, this is a false premise because you don't even need to be a pattern day trader. Now, what is a pattern day trader? I'm just going to summarize it very, very quickly. It's a government regulation that does not allow you to trade as much as you want. I'll say that again. It's a government regulation that does not allow you to trade as much as you want. So this person is under the impression like, okay, maybe I just got to get more experience because I'm under this PDT thing. So as a pattern day trader, I guess I got to just kind of, no, you don't have to do any of that. And well, well, let me take a step back. You could get out of it, to be fair, if you have at least $25,000. So if you're someone that's like, oh, I got way more than $25,000, then okay, you could hop into stocks. Now that doesn't solve the other thing about just being able to get really, really romantic with something. But it would, to be fair, again, it would solve, well, you wouldn't have to worry about the pattern day trader rule. But I know a lot of people getting started, they don't have $25,000. But this, once again, is where futures comes into play. Because in the world of futures, there is no pattern day trading rule. Say that again, there is no pattern day trading rule. Now, if you're brand new, maybe you don't think that's that big of a deal. But if you have less than $25,000, you're going to learn very, very quickly how annoying and frustrating the pattern day trading rule is, especially when your broker freezes your account because you violated the pattern day trading rule. I think most people have been there. I know I've been there. I remember when I was getting started. Yes, the account being frozen because of violation of that pattern day trading rule, but you don't have to worry about any of that in the futures market. So again, at least consider learning more about futures. And then the final thing to consider, which this person did not bring up, but it's a little cherry on top, but it does flow from the pattern day trading perspective. Because yeah, if you don't have $25,000 and yet you don't have a whole lot of capital, then a very smart way to go about futures is using what's called a prop firm. Now, I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole. I just want you to be aware of, that prop firms exist and give you a little nutshell. But in a nutshell, the way they work is this: you submit and basically purchase an account, and then you go through a process, prove yourself. And at the core, they allow you to risk very, very little of your money. And then if you can prove yourself, you have a whole lot of upside potential. And this is going to be within the world of futures. So another one of those things where no pattern day trading rule, great. Because they're futures, you get to know something very, very well. And then you can really, really minimize your risk, because if you do something really stupid, your cost is only going to be what it costs you to buy the account. So if you do something really stupid and it costs you $1,000, well, you didn't actually lose $1,000 because you were using a prop firm. You just would have lost whatever you purchased the account with. Like I said, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but if you check out the link I'll put down below, which talks about the prop firm that I use. So this is what I'm doing. And this is coming from, I have years and years of experience, but the prop firm model really does make sense because the way it allows you to minimize your risk of your own capital being actually on the line at risk. And as a new person, as somebody getting started, that's a good thing. The more you can survive, the longer you can survive, the better opportunity you're going to have to thrive. And by using these prop firms, it gives you a better chance to at least, minimize your risk of capital and gives you that much more survivability so that you can ultimately figure out your strategy. So like I said, I'll put a link down below, and make sure you use that link because these prop firms, they are always using and giving promotions. So when you're using the promotions, you don't want to pay full price for anything, but by using that link below, it'll ensure you get the best deal possible. So at the core, this stock newbie has laid out a very, very, very persuasive argument for futures and for, unknowingly for prop firms themselves, because if you don't have those larger amounts of capital, a prop firm is a great way to get around that. But that is something where, yes, if you've noticed this within the world of stocks, you can make that process so much more simpler by hopping into futures, and then you don't have to worry about pattern day trading rule, and then you can add in another layer of survivability via using those prop firm accounts. So very, very good, solid argument here from the stock newbie. And then finally, before I go, I want to encourage you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you just use the link down below or just go to claytrader.com/live, it will let you know when the next live class is. Well, this will help you out, especially for those of you that not even necessarily a beginner, but if you've been struggling, then the main pillar of this class, let's make sure you have the right framework. A lot of people show up and they're using certain tools, but they're not using them right, or they have a misconception about them. And I want to focus on, let's make sure you have the right approach to all this so that you can give yourself the best possible chance. So if you need maybe a little bit of rewiring in your brain, if you think maybe your perspective's off or your framework's off on how you're viewing the market, that your approach to it all, then I'm very confident this class can help you out. So definitely go get signed up for it. And again, if you want to learn more about futures, I'll put a link down below to that free 4-part series. And then definitely consider, if you do want to go down the futures path, using a prop firm, and make sure you use that link also so that you get the best deal possible. But again, to you, the stock newbie, very, very impressive, unintentional argument for futures trading.